Good wrestling day, everybody. All right, I tried. This is the professor. I'm a little more nasalier than ever. Well, I don't know if I'm normally nasally, but my allergies are effing rocking here in the springtime. It's not Rona, but I'm all right. Welcome back to the Top of Wrestling Podcast. I don't care if I'm laying in my deathbed. I'm going to bring you a show. I'm like Vince McMahon. No matter what, I make things happen. But I don't fire people because I need the man by my side, as we always have. We need our roster, as always. And today, I know he's rare and ready to go. Mr. O to the D to the M.
Winners of this bout and new World Wrestling Podcast champions, the Professor and That is what I get for trying to impersonate a legend. It was like the wrestling
The
gods.
new was fantastic. I loved it, but then, it's how he ever had his voice keep going that way, because I'm not sure if you ever watch Legends House on the network.
Okay.
But
Wow.
he doesn't talk like this, and you know what I mean? Like, that's obviously
Right.
very Anthem type, like Michael Buffer. But how he can go through the weight, where they're from, everything. I'm like, just saying their name and knew the way he does it, that would have been enough if he just kind of talked regular after that. But man, that guy was the best ring announcer ever. He's my favorite. Rest in peace to the Hall of Famer, the Fink, Howard Finkel. It's the voice of my childhood, man. He announced every one of the new championship wins of every guy that I grew up watching. Hogan, Warrior, Savage, Hart, Michaels, Austin. Sad that he's gone.
Yeah, he's pretty much the measuring stick for ring announcers these days, right? I mean, everybody, I think, in the mainstream probably thinks Michael Buffer, but ultimately the Fink is the man. He is the voice that you want to hear when something important's happening. And a little fun fact that I found out was that he was Titan Entertainment's first employee. When Vince was still working for his father at the WWF, he created Titan Entertainment. I think it's Titan Entertainment. I probably have that wrong. So, but Howard Finkel was the first employee ever for that company. And I was at WrestleMania 1 when he's announcing Aretha Franklin, who's standing right behind him, the Fink. So yeah, it's tough. There's obviously a lot of voices from that time period. Mean Gene was another big one. You hear that voice and you're instantly pulled in. So, but the Fink was another.
We just
big
lost
one.
Mean Gene about a year and a half ago. So
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, it's somewhat close timing. God, I don't know about you, man. I can somewhat hear my voice in these headphones. Do I sound to you as bad as I feel?
Well, I don't know how you feel. How you look, yeah.
I feel like shit. No, I really don't. It's just it's not so much here, but right here. No, it's right below the eyes and right above the mouth, man. Boom.
I know we're on FaceTime right now, but still, I need you to go put a bandana over your face just so I don't catch anything, because it looks like it's going to come through the phone real quick.
Yeah. Speaking of, I had to stop into a gas station the other day, and I was like, I got to put something on. And I'm like, I'm going through masks like crazy, and it's a must where I'm at in California. And I was like, well, they said bandanas are acceptable. Well, first of all, I'm scared out here in California because certain bandanas, I was actually told by someone, because I was wearing a red one day, and someone was like, hey, man, just so you know, you might want to be smarter than that. Oh, that's a good call, bro. Like, I didn't really think about that. It was a wrestling buddy of mine. But, I guess I really didn't think of it. So all mine are like tie-dye now.
I was going to say,
really
good call.
funny.
Stay away from blue.
Absolutely. No, I just went with tie-dye, camo. I didn't even know if white was acceptable. I go, you know what? I'm just going to go multicolors. I'm like, it's got to go with whatever. But anyway, I'm standing outside of the car, and I look at the window. I'm like, tying it up, I go, I really look like I'm about to go rob this fucking
Yeah.
place right now.
Yeah.
It's scary. And then I'm putting on the rubber gloves and I'm like reaching for my gun. I mean, no. Anyway, lots of big things happening in the last week. Now, our show comes out Wednesdays, as it always does. Last week we had a great show, we feel. Our very first ever watch-along between both Taker and Michaels matches from the WrestleMania back-to-backs. But on the same exact day, on our last episode, which is episode 18, today is episode 19, but on episode 18, it will forever be the day known as Black Wednesday in 2020. There's been release days in the past, usually post-WrestleMania, kind of like now. However, never to this extent, never to this height of credibility of names. And we're going to go through it in just a moment, but we cannot be the very first time you're hearing this. There was a mass firing that happened with the WWE. I'm not sure if it was actually officially stated. I'm going to actually give that to you, O.D.M, if you know, before we do list the names. I'm not sure if WWE said it was in lieu of COVID-19 or it was just, we've just come to terms with it and that's it. I'm not sure if they had an official statement, but before we even get into it, what's your take, man? I mean, it's funny. We were producing the show last week. We get it out. Hey, did you get it? Cool. And then all of a sudden the show just, like, our minds changed. I actually forgot our show was airing because I kept having to keep checking WrestlingInc.com just nonstop the whole time. And one minor thing before I do get your take. If I sent anybody to YouTube last week and told you to go watch our watch-along instead of using the network, we got a kick in the nuts by WWE, and they said, no thanks. But hey, we tried. We're still there, and you can go ahead and listen along with the network. We did give you the timestamps, of course. But O.D.M, come on, talk to me about Black Wednesday last week.
Pretty shitty, man. Listen, you're going to get a lot of people out there. I'm not even going to say majority people, but you're going to get a lot of people out there saying, listen, it's a business and they have to do what they have to do. I can understand that. It always sucks. That nothing's going to change there. But let's look at some things here, because we got to just talk about it. There was a statement that came out about WWE's financials where they have about $500 million in available reserve funds. That's money that are part of debts owed to WWE, other things that they can borrow against. So it's not like all of a sudden they were struggling. Then Linda McMahon Super PAC donates $18 million to Florida so they can stay up as essential businesses. It was reported that Vince McMahon is still going to get his dividends. He got out of paying money for dropping the XFL. And then he releases 30, 40 people from WWE's payroll.
And it was still happening yesterday.
And
it's still on Sunday.
That people that he never pushed, that he never properly utilized, he simply held on to so other promotions couldn't get him. And now he makes out even more like a bandit because right now, nobody's going to sign anybody. So there's my take on that one. It's just all around shitty. In the end, some people seem to be taking it positively because they can go and do, hopefully once things return to normal, a lot of these people will get signed in a heartbeat. And we'll be talking about that shortly.
How many times did Luke Harper or Brody Lee ask for his release? How many times did the Revival ask for their release? And then they got time tacked on for injuries or whatever it may be. Same with, I can't remember who else it was, but they were holding people captive. I'm not saying that I wish this pandemic happened a year ago, but it would have been kind of a little bit better for people like Luke Harper and everybody. Not that I wanted a pandemic, obviously, but for all of this to go down at all, you talk about the money that was donated. You talk about they had an investors meeting. I didn't know how soon I would bring this part up, but I had these written down here. Not sure how much you know about this part here. First, Fox and NBCU reportedly told WWE, we're not going to cut any of your money if you're live versus taped, with crowds or no crowds. Okay, you're losing merchandise money. Okay. But you're still getting paid to put on a fucking show.
Yeah.
What is... Okay, so right there, not saying Rusev had to be fired. We already know that, like that he was one of the people, but so he could have been put on TV, right? The Revival, now they're already gone. You know, they revealed that they were supposed to be an extremely comedic act.
Yep.
Should they have stayed. But WWE's stock last year was $100 per share. I'm going to tell you right now, I know dick about the stock market. I'm sorry. The most I know is Wolf of Wall Street, and all I know is there's a lot of sex and drugs in it. That's enough for me. But it was $100 per share last year. Right now, it's at $40 per share. This pandemic has jack shit to do with it. They were already in shit because look at their ratings. No one was going to shows. Like how many times we were seeing the audience taped off, or you know what I mean, or whatever, the half the arena taped off. They were already losing a lot of money. Now, again, now they're losing tons in the XFL. But come on, man. You have, after all these, and I'm going to call it, I don't care if someone disagrees with me, after all these blood money Saudi Arabia shows, you don't have enough money to take care of those guys right there. Even if you just gave those guys, all of those wrestlers, to sit home, $1,000 a week each guy, maybe even $500 a week, something. Make them a regular human who could just pay their just their utilities. You cannot tell me that you couldn't have done that for all those guys. And the one that kills me the most, and I'm hoping he has a severance package, is the referee. We'll, of course, talk about him as well. But they told their investors in the meeting that they have $500 million in cash for times like these.
Yeah, I mentioned that.
Yep. Yeah, but I'm saying, like, it's just... Yeah. Hey, I'm not going to lie. You did mention it. I'm sorry. I stepped away for one moment.
No, that's all right. I kind of pulled back the curtain there.
Well, it's funny because I'm sure listeners are probably like, wow, he's really sick. Yeah, I guess it's going to his head. He's not even listening anymore. No, the whole thing is just, they have money. And it's really sad for some of the guys that they let go. I don't want to go again. We were going to talk about the list in one moment, but did you hear about Kurt Hawkins' wife, or did you read Kurt Hawkins' wife's tweet?
No, I didn't.
They're like a month away from giving birth to their child, and you know they're not in like financial like restraints. They're not like hurting, but in a time like this, they know he's about to have a kid, and they also, you know, he's been loyal to that company. They brought him back and said, we're going to do things with you. Because, you know, he went out on the indie circuit for a while. What'd they do? They bring him back to go on a fucking losing streak. Okay? It worked. Got you on TV 100-something times. Okay. But at the end of the day, the guy was loyal. Same with Heath Slater. Same with Zack Ryder. Those three right there, that's loyalty that you let go. You let go your entire mid-card. It's like you're almost just telling everybody we're going to watch Seth Rollins every day for the rest of our lives. But she put a tweet out there saying basically shame on WWE for doing this. Normally I hate when wives get involved on Twitter of the wrestlers. Mainly I'm talking Rebby. I'm really just talking Rebby. At the end of the day, she's the only one I'm really talking about. But that one hit home to me, man. I'm like, that's just messed up. I don't know. It's all these guys you just all the years that they just rode along and you gave them what CM Punk called them, these imaginary brass rings. All of those brass rings that you promised all of these guys. Kurt, come to WWE. Look, man, we're not going to give you much of a wrestling career, but we're going to let you be a big backstage talent or whatever. We're going to keep you on the payroll. Kurt needs that. I'm not just saying, like, I mean, come on. Why would he come back if he... No one goes to do a job if they technically, at the end of the day, don't need some money. You just fucked all your guys over who have been very, very, very loyal to you for so long and put him in very bad positions. However, when this is all over and every one of the companies get back up and running, I think we used to say it's a great time to be a wrestling fan. We said that nearly 20 weeks ago. Or it was 20 weeks ago in the teaser. It is a great time to be a fan. We had so much to bitch about, right? However, now when you really think about it, it's going to be an even better time to be a fan because people, all these guys that we have been hoping and dying for to see rise up beyond the mid-card. The biggest name we're going to talk about in a moment, we all know. But this is the opportunity for them to go to another company. And WWE can always go, well, if they weren't a world champion here, they weren't a world champion anywhere. Fuck you. You did this to everybody. Now other companies are going to thrive. I think the biggest top 4, I'm going to say right now, are going to be, obviously WWE is still going to stay in the game. Okay. And I'm going to say NXT is under that umbrella with them. There is one. But WWE, AEW, NWA, and I think we may be seeing a resurgence in AEW, Ring of Honor, NWA, and then WWE. Yeah. I don't think New Japan's going to really make anything big out of this. Possibly Good Brothers, but other than that, I don't think anything. I don't think they need it. But do you want to run down the list?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, now, how do you want to do this? Do you want to just go through the whole list, and then we'll go through kind of our game that we're going to play for a game for today?
Let's just start with the game. I think we're going to hit the...
All right, this is a game we don't want to play. We don't want to play this game, guys, but we're going to have to play this game today. What this is we're going to play our very first ever, and hopefully our last ever, mass. Where are they going to end up? There are a lot of people that are on this list that were let go. And start with non-wrestlers. Let's work our way through and just see or kind of discuss what we think is going to happen with some of these guys. But go ahead, let's roll through them all. Oh, and to cut you off one more time, but want to let everybody know that, of course, he's been the man by our side as well, helping us out. Nightwing Analyst is going to be, he actually sent in a bunch of his predictions as well as to where some of these guys are going to go. So, as O.D.M. says his, I'll be saying mine and that. Just want to let everybody know. Just want to be on top of things. Don't give me that look.
Can I finish?
Is it the nasally?
No, it's many things. Starting at the top, because I think this is an easy one. Cassius Ohno, a.k.a. Chris Hero.
Whew. I
think he's retiring.
Well, he put that tweet out of his boots. And, anybody who knows, when you leave your boots in the ring, or kind of like what Undertaker did at 33, it's a symbolic way of saying, I'm done. I think he is saying that Cassius Ohno is done.
Yeah, could be.
And good guy or bad, good guy, good boy, I don't know, whatever his new fucking gimmick is. Joey Janela put out a tweet saying, well, I need a hero. And he put out that song, I need a hero. And everybody was kind of going along with it saying, yeah, we do need a hero. Everybody's kind of looking for him. I would not be shocked if he would maybe end up in maybe some of the circuits again, maybe Ring of Honor and PWG for a little bit. But I agree with what Nightwing Analyst said. I think he's going to become a trainer and start a school.
There you go. That makes sense.
What are your thoughts? Oh, you said retirement?
Yeah. That's but fair. I mean, I guess a trainer starts a school would be in that similar vein, right? Because he's not retiring from the business as a whole. He's just retiring as a wrestler, as an in-ring performer,
Sure.
as opposed to. But yeah, I like that.
No, yeah, absolutely. And
trainer,
I mean, that could be the same. I mean, like, I don't want to go too in depth, but one of the tweets, I'll just say, or I'm sorry, one of the videos that came out, a promo of one of the guys, I think that their career is done. So we could possibly be seeing last matches from guys, but it doesn't mean that they may not open a school or somehow work in the business somewhere else as like an announcer. But some of these guys may be actually physically done wrestling. Who knows? On with it.
Drake Maverick.
Oh, that was the guy I was talking about.
Yeah, right.
God, you saw his video, right?
Yeah, it was horrible, man.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah, it was
the
rough.
The moment he said, "Those may be my last matches," and then he just bursted out crying. Choked up, bro. For real.
Yeah.
Like, I had goosebumps, and I go, wow, it sucks. Because, he was Rockstar Spud in TNA, comes over to WWE, and, starts as the general manager for the Cruiserweight division on 205, pisses himself as the AOP manager.
God.
Was not treated great. He could go, but he is going to be in this round robin tournament for the Cruiserweight title. He has 3 matches that he is a part of. I assume they're probably all pre-taped if he was let go already. So where he goes from here, let me ask you first. What do you think?
Ooh, it's a tough one because this is another one I could see a retirement or, starting a school. I don't know, man. I could see Ring of Honor.
Nightwing said super indie, which would be cool. Him showing up anywhere, it's going to get a massive pop. But gotta be honest, that dude just tugged at so many people's heartstrings.
Sure.
Can you imagine when crowds are allowed again? That dude shows up in AEW, even as a manager to someone.
Yeah, be crazy.
He can talk. He doesn't need to be a general manager. Maybe he wrestles a couple of matches here and there as a manager. Bobby Heenan still wrestled matches. You know what I mean? Like, throughout time. Even Paul Heyman's had a match. So, I don't think he's done. I think that video may have been probably the best thing almost, but not in a. But I don't think that's what his purpose was with the video either. I think it was just Drake being Drake, and I think that's cool. Do we know what his name is in real life or no?
James Curtin.
I know that a couple of friends of our show, they actually run a radio show in Rochester, New York. Cashman, Artiste, and Danger with the Pain Clinic. They actually, multiple occasions, have actually hung with him. As well as with Jeremy Borash, because, with TNA, when they used to come into town, they used to be able to get them on the air and talk with them. Same kind of thing. And they were all just very cool, down-to-earth guys, including Drake. I think we could see him in AEW because he just has a good vibe, I feel like. And I think that he would really just, as a manager, there's not many managers in there, right? You need a good talker. Right now we got Jake Roberts, and he's building up a whole feud with Cody and Archer doesn't need to say shit. Maybe Drake could do that better than a man who pisses his pants.
Yeah.
The next,
Kurt Hawkins.
All right, well, I did mention about what his wife had said.
Yeah.
I think he's going to probably be seen somewhere on... You know what? I'm going to go a bold choice on this one. I'm going to say NWA for Kurt Hawkins. What are you thinking?
I'm going to say AEW to start. I think he'll likely bounce around. I would love to see AEW sign him and have him start a winning streak. Just parody
just a good slap him in the
WWE,
face.
but have it all be just like dumb shit. Like, he catches a roll up or somebody goes to attack him and hits his opponent. Just dumb
he
shit.
gets there's no reason they should be winning these matches.
Making a shit gimmick just like WWE would, but doing it the reverse of what they did. So instead of having him lose that be his gimmick, he's going to go on a streak for a little bit because records matter there.
That's true. But oh wow, man, I think you just swayed me. Nightwing thinks he's going to go super indie, but I like that idea because the records matter there, dude.
It's extreme fantasy booking, but
but you're also
sounds good to me.
It means that you did your homework, So, I see that the order we're going in. I guess we are looking at the same page. So up next, we got the Good Brothers, right? We got Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows.
Yes, sir.
Whoo!
This one sucks, man. This one sucks. This one really pisses me off.
Because their final match with the company, they just main evented WrestleMania, right?
Yeah, night one. Yeah.
But I mean,
in a role. But they were great. Listen, we all know.
Hey, I don't give a shit whatever you think, man. Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder helped. They were in that match against Edge and Undertaker. They were part of the main event WrestleMania. They may not have been wrestling in it, but they were part of it.
Oh no, that's
those
fine.
Two guys.
Yeah, all right. I'm not trying to take it away from them. Well, yeah, this one just sucks. They never really fully realized the potential of the club. They rebranded it. It just by that point it had fallen flat. I was thinking they would go back to New Japan,
right?
But I don't know if their family life is, so I don't know if they're gonna just pick up and move back to Japan. I know Anderson has an Asian wife. I'm not sure if she's from Japan, but it's not funny.
Hot Asian wife. No,
yes, I know. I was trying to refrain from saying that.
No, I'm saying that's what I love about he refers to it. So fuck it, it's okay to say.
But here's the thing. I want him to go to AEW because Omega's there. They've got a history. It's the same thing. They do it's.
I don't think it would work there.
Piss on my parade. It doesn't have to be the same thing, but there is a history there, so it's something you can play off of. It doesn't have to be the Bullet Club 2.0.
I'm just saying, I don't think that AEW should sign anybody as a fucking tag team right now. Because your tag team division sucks. I am more interested right now in the TNT tournament than anything. I don't really give. I mean, Mox and Hager put on a good show, but I'm just waiting for Darby to blow up, man. He's cutting promos on Inner Circle left and right, man. I mean, like, he's the hottest thing they got going. I'm going to lose my effing mind when he finally wins that world title. I know it's going to happen at some point. But they don't need to bring tag teams over there because nothing's happening right now. I don't know, man. I got to be honest. I'm a little against. This is going to sound shitty. I'm a little bit against just watching really any wrestling right now. Can't get on board without a fan there, man. Like, it's without fans. You know what I mean? Like, you can put a couple people in the crowd, but I don't know. It kind of works sometimes, but
I think the AEW is doing a good job with it. I think that helps.
I think they do better. I don't like the silence that like NXT had with Velveteen Dream's promo in Finn Balor came out. Like, it was almost just too silent, but you're in the arena. Just do it backstage then. You know what I mean? Like, it was just...
Sure.
I don't know. I like that how AEW has been doing their stuff. I don't think that the Good Brothers would do... I just don't think that they'll even do anything over there. They might just become just a wasted away tag team.
Sure.
Nightwing thinks Ring of Honor. I got to be honest. I'm not sure what. End of the day, all of this is fantasy booking, right, guys? This is a where do we want them to go, but where do we think they go? And we're saying a little of all, but I'm not sure what the money situation is in all these companies, man. But I'll tell you, NWA would be a good spot for those guys. If they came in the way that they used to be in Japan, just a powerhouse tag team, be awesome to see them over there. Much like we've already said that the Revival should be there, or AEW, or even Ring of Honor. Just wherever they go, it's gonna be a hot push anywhere those guys go. And it's actually gonna help whatever company they go to be honest with you, because they are probably the hottest free agent next to one of the people that was released.
Yep.
But yeah, so yeah, I would say, yeah, I would probably put them in NWA personally myself. But now, one thing you did mention about with their families and if they could go to Japan, were they ever really living over there full time?
It's a good question. I'm not sure.
You know, because I mean, like, if not, maybe it's just a travel back and forth. You know, hey, we sign. All right, we'll do the World Tag League like they always do. And, you know, we'll be there for a lot of the shows, but we're not going to be there all the time. We'll come spend 3 straight months there, go home for 2 months or something like that. But I'm saying, like, maybe they could work something out because I would not mind seeing them get back in there with Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, Kenta, Jay White. Jay White even gave him open invitation on Twitter. So
nice. Yeah, I saw that.
I would not mind seeing them go back to New Japan. So, you know, good options, but I'm going to go personally, if they're going to stay in the U.S., NWA.
All right.
This one pisses me off.
He's got kids!
He does have kids, man. No one gives a shit about his kids, apparently. Heath Slater. You know what's crazy is that someone just posted a video on one of my many, many, many Facebook pages that have wrestling stuff on it. And it was Heath Slater cutting a promo on one of the very first editions of SmackDown Live, where Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan were in charge when that split happened. And it was a fatal 5-way.
Right.
And the winner of the match that night was going to be the number 1 contender to Dean Ambrose's World Championship.
Right, yeah.
It happened in Rochester, New York.
Oh.
No. I apologize.
No.
That was Buffalo. Okay. I apologize. It was a SmackDown in Buffalo. And I actually went on a whim by myself that day. But I went and I remember Slater's promo and they put it out and he was like going through everything. And he goes, I carried the Nexus. I carried the Core. I was the 1-man band, also in the 3-man band. And really, just at the end of the day, that dude has been there a long time. He can work. He doesn't get hurt. He has put over anybody you've ever wanted him to.
Absolutely.
That one just really pisses me off for some reason. For some weird reason, have always been a very, very big fan of Heath Slater. I don't know where he goes. He's actually one person I don't know where he goes. I would say best pop, best way to get over as a 1-man band, AEW.
Yeah, he's got man. I don't even know how much of a following he has, so I don't know if you'd really get the pop you'd expect. You probably would. Man, I like that answer. I was thinking Ring of Honor.
And that's not bad either. You know, I mean, he would do some good stuff over there. But think about this. His song in WWE, I'm just one man. Right? Just imagine they just changed something up. I am one man. Or the 1-man rock star. Something like that. You just hear something different. Crowd would lose their effing minds. Yeah. Because they know who he is. Come on.
Sure.
Been with the company since 2000 and probably 8. Starting in FCW, the NXT stuff. 2010 is when Nexus debuted on TV. He was buried from the start by John Cena. Mm-hmm. You know, making fun of him, saying he looked like the Wendy's girl. But you know, he's a He's won multiple tag team championships. Jesus Christ.
Good
Nightwing
job.
thinks he's going to go to AEW as well. I think it would be the best step, but I think Ring of Honor, like you said, it would be the next best step. I don't think anywhere else. I really don't think any of the guys in WWE who were just let go are going to New Japan, minus the Good Brothers. Personally.
Really?
But
you don't think anybody... Okay.
Well, we'll keep going. We'll keep going.
There.
All right.
We'll get there. This one, I really don't give a shit about. Aiden English. Super indie.
I think Aiden English is going to go super indie as well. Yeah, that's it. I just...
No reason, you know. He was great in Rusev Day, but...
I was just going to say the best thing he had was Rusev Day.
Yeah, pretty much.
Dude, do you know what sucks is that Rusev was like going Rusev Day.
I know. I did actually tweet that on our page.
I got to be honest, I'm not really sure where he's going to go. I think you're right. Probably super indie. I don't think he would make... I wouldn't even care if I saw him in AEW. See, like, I'm trying to envision seeing that exact person walk down the AEW ramp. You know what I'm saying? Or, like, seeing the tunnels, seeing him in the ring. And I'm like, You know, certain guys, I'm like, Heath Slater, I could see it. It works. I don't see that for Aiden English. I think he's going to be a Ring of Honor kind of guy, or not even NWA. I think we're not going to see him. Best place we're going to find him, PWG, something like that.
Right.
That's all I got for you, man. For him, I didn't really. It's not that I don't care, but I don't know. I feel like I liked him so much better when Simon Gotch was around.
Sure.
Hey, maybe he goes in. I believe Simon Gotch is in MLW, so there's a possibility too where he could go over there and they could maybe reform their tag team.
Yeah,
not
a terrible
against
thing.
the possibility. Yeah. Oh, I'll let you talk about this next one.
Eric Young. Wow, this is a tough one because I could see this multiples. I'm going to go NWA.
I am about to agree with Nightwing. And it's the first one I'm going to actually say of all the places. He is going to be practicing social distancing for the rest of his life. He is going to retire. I think Eric Young, I mean, I'm not saying he's past his prime. I think he could still go. Where do you put him at this point? You know, I mean, anywhere he goes, are you really going to be able to market him as a world champ? The way I look at anybody is when you're bringing someone in, can they be a future world champ? Or are they going to be a great mid-card guy? Maybe he could go in Dark Order, right? I don't know, but I think retirement. You think NWA?
Yeah, I think it'd be a good fit.
That's cool. All right, I'm with you on that. This one was, I think, the next one is we all saw coming at some point. We kind of, but for some reason it didn't happen.
Seriously.
Leo Rush, which I thought with all the heat that dude had backstage, I thought he would have been gone a long time ago.
Yeah.
But that's...
He even
especially
was
in the
for
cruiserweight tournament. Yeah, like he was in the doghouse, but then he came back and was really riding high on NXT recently.
They put the cruiserweight title right on him.
Yeah, so not really sure why. I don't know,
kept
but
him with
I got
Lashley.
Oh my God, that who said backstage? I got an idea. Let's take Leo Rush out of the equation. Let's put in Lana.
Yep,
that's an idea. It's good shit.
Exactly. I bet you that person's still working there. Anyway.
Exactly. I think Leo Rush, Nightwing thinks AEW. Nah, I think that oh man, I'm not saying he's becoming like an Austin Aries where he's like burnt some bridges and shit, but
sure.
I think best thing you're going to see him is going back to Ring of Honor. He was in Ring of Honor as... ACH, I want to say. No. ACH was Jordan Miles, who was like, not too long ago. That's right. No. So, Leo Rush, I just think he's going to go to Ring of Honor in general. But one name I did skip over already, and I see you were kind of giving me the middle finger there. This one should have never even fucking been signed. I never understood why this guy got signed. He had 2 NXT matches, maybe at best. A Raw match where Dean Ambrose just buried the shit out of him, and I honestly don't remember anything else since Ethan Carter III.
He was in the North American title ladder match.
Yeah, that was one of the 2 NXT matches. I said.
No.
Nightwing thinks super indie.
Really?
Well. You know what's funny is no one's mentioning Impact. I love it.
Yeah, right.
I don't think he would do well in AEW, I don't like his personality. I mean, he's got the gimmick, but I just still don't like the personality of him. I actually think overall, I'll go NWA. I wanted to say Ring of Honor. I actually that was on my mind right before I said, but then I just pictured him coming out in NWA in a suit and kind of being that, not Ric Flair, but that kind of just real cocky, arrogant dude that is, taking over the place and having millions of dollars. That's what he was like in TNA, so basically just bring that over to somewhere else. I don't think he'd fit in MLW. Yeah, I would say NWA.
Okay, I'm gonna say AEW. He's tight with Cody and Moxley. So
he is okay. I didn't know that he was tight with those guys. I just want to know, how did he get the third? I mean, who was the first and second?
It's going to be confusing because he looks like a more jacked, more tanned, less charismatic MJF.
Oh my God, he does. He's got to keep the beard.
I just
you saw the promo,
mind.
Right? Well, hey, he's one of the guys that dropped a promo as well with a video saying, like, and Heath Slater did too, by the way. You didn't mention his. Just drinking a Coors. And he's like, I'm using this as motivation, baby. I love him. EC3, his was like a real good, like, backstage production promo. And his was a saying that he's going to emerge somewhere. I could see AEW too, but he's got to keep the beard.
I think
the beard
there was
that he has in the promo.
He had there was a picture on him with Jericho on Instagram a while ago too.
Oh, that is right. Wow, you're right. It is AEW.
Ding,
ding. Baby. So, one of the names I already said earlier, Kurt Angle, already retired as an active wrestler. We know that he was working backstage.
Yeah.
Lord knows they need all the help they really could get backstage. Apparently, they're not even asking him questions anyway.
But nobody's going to listen anyway, so.
True.
Or one person.
I got to be honest, that would be the worst company to work for. Really, you're just making up all these ideas and just for them to say no. I would just hand them empty papers and be like, "What do you think?" I think he is done. I don't think we're going to see him go anywhere. I think that he is just going to probably be it from there. Maybe, possibly like an NWA appearance.
Right. I don't think he was doing much in WWE. I think it was kind of like I don't know if you want to call it like a Legends contract, right? Where you are the executive for food and beverage, and that's not really what you're doing. You're kind of just backstage making sure everything goes okay.
What is it, like Casino? We just keep changing your job title every now and then.
Exactly.
Keep you under the radar.
Yeah, see? Perfect. You knew where I was going with that. But I think that's what it was, right? I don't know that for certain, but that's what it seems. So, yeah, he's probably like, all right, well, they just threw me a bone, so I was taking it because I didn't have to do much. But now, screw it. I'm going to, he's a God-fearing man. He loves his family. He's trying to stay straight and clean, and he has for a long time. So I think he's probably just going to enjoy his life.
He had a great video. Nightwing analyst agrees with you. He thinks it's going to be a full retirement as well. He had a great video not too long ago. I think it was his Instagram where he was eating spaghetti, and then he lifts it up and then has a pair of scissors and cuts off whatever was at the bottom so that he didn't have to worry about like slurping it through his mouth. And his wife goes, "Are you serious? You can't be serious. Are you really trying to eat like that right now?" And he goes, "I'm an Olympic gold medalist. Are you serious?" And I'm like, I fucking love it. I've always loved him. He was great with Edge and Christian. That era, they were hysterical.
Right.
Him with Austin in the invasion angle, it was just awesome. He's great, man. He's never been. I've never seen really bad matches from him. I love Kurt Angle. Sad that he had to be let go like this.
Sure.
It's just. I don't know. I feel like so many people, they deserve better than this. You want to let go some of the quick NXT names that we had on here? Fine. I don't care. You want to do a mass talent that way, but some of the big names that you have on here did not deserve this let go.
Sure.
Who do we got next?
Sarah Logan. Listen, I always kind of had a spot for her. I thought she was, had some potential, but never really got to see it. So
I liked her. I thought she was going to be the breakout star of the Riot Squad because Liv Morgan, with the blue tongue, she was always very attracted to. Everybody liked her. Ruby Riott had that badass look and sexy butt.
right.
Sarah Logan was that quiet one in the background, and she always came out dressed like War Raiders for some reason. Ha ha, wink wink. And it looked like within the last year, she's actually breaking out. She's been doing good, man, and it sucks that they let her go. I was not expecting that. I think she will end up in AEW. I think they need a credible woman to walk into that company right now. The only other woman I think that was let go out of this list was Serena Deeb, but I think she's retired. But Maria Kanellis, and she's pregnant.
Deanna Purrazzo from NXT.
Okay, so both of those could probably go to AEW,
right?
Because I don't see the women's division needing it anywhere else. Ring of Honor, I don't even know what they have over there.
Yeah,
I know Angelina Love, I think, is there maybe.
I'd say Indies.
Yeah, Nightwing thinks Indies too. He thinks Super Indies for Sarah Logan, but I don't think that's the place for her, man.
Yeah,
I think she would be AEW. But it's funny, her husband still works there.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah,
that's
messed up.
With the Gallows and Anderson one, AJ Styles put out a tweet saying he feels responsible in that.
I saw that, man.
He could have did something,
Sucks.
and that Rose got to be feeling the same way, like how do you go back to the same house? I have a job at the same place and you don't, you know what I mean? And
right.
It's not like, I'm sure he's very supportive, but then he's also got to go in and be like, fuck, I got to go work for the people that just fired my wife. You know what I mean? It's tough. It's business. I get it. Everybody's going to say it's business, but cold.
Yeah. So for the next one, could I get a little song? Can I introduce it with a song?
Absolutely.
Boom 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 boom. Mike Chioda. Wow, you really just ruined that. Thanks a lot, jerk.
I didn't know if you wanted me. I just sorry, man. I'm so stuffed up, bro.
Wow.
Yes.
Well,
all right. Now I got it.
Derail the Okay.
All right. I didn't know if you meant production, post production. Anyway,
Mike Chioda.
This one sucks, man. 1989.
Yeah. No shit, man.
So that's the year I started watching. I got in right at the very, very end of 88, but either way. So I've been seeing that dude forever.
Yep.
He is someone I think I can't imagine was pulled into an office or anything like that, but did he ref WrestleMania?
Yeah. I don't remember what year. I don't have that written down.
No, but what I'm thinking is I think he may have been someone that was like, hey, we're going to severance you out. You know what I mean? Like
you're giving them an awful lot of credit. Just saying.
I think they should have done that. There. I think retire, man. I think he's done. I mean, he's been in the business. He's probably done more matches than most wrestlers. When you really think about it. You have to have a ref every weekend, everywhere you go. And you know what I mean? Sometimes they do multiple a night. So he's probably ref more matches than most wrestlers have. I think he's retired after this.
I think he's going to AEW. Who do they got? Aubrey?
Yeah.
I love Aubrey. But she can't do every single
They have Aubrey and the other guy.
You know what? I think it's going to be the same thing. Oh, Jesus. All right, so that's one of those ones I'm going to have to go back and listen to. I think they need somebody else, at least in the interim, and I think, it's similar to what we said about, what I said about Kurt Angle's contract. It's throwing him a bone, right? Listen, come ref for us for 6 months. Everybody's going to know who you are. You'll make some money, and you can retire. So I think he's going to go to AEW.
Well, to be honest with you, Khan's got the money, so you're right. I'm sure it can be a throw a bone thing, or oh man, could you imagine holding Chioda off into the next pay-per-view and it's a world championship, and they bring him out instead of Aubrey or something like that. Just you're right, end of the day, what I'm worried about with AEW is I don't want everybody to go over there, and then WWE just goes, yeah, it's the people we didn't want.
Yeah.
Or it's another version of WCW, because that's kind of what WCW was. I mean, Jesus, fucking 90% of NWO was at some point in WWE, or even most of the WCW guys. But I don't know. I'm going to have to say retirement. Second place is going to be the AEW thing. But the problem, like I said, man, you got JR, Tony Schiavone, you know what I mean? Like, you have all these older guys, and I'm like, they
I get
said
it.
they want to push, but I guess credibility established guys is not a bad thing either. It's a good ref. He can still go. I mean, shit, they brought Earl Hebner in for that one.
I saw that.
Yeah,
That
so
was
you know what? Maybe Mike Chioda does go to AEW. You switched my mind. Look at that, O.D.M. God damn you.
again.
The Colognes.
The Colognes.
They're just going to go back to work in Mexico with their...
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico, I apologize.
Racist dick.
Fuck you. That's not what I was thinking of. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Trigger!
I really don't even know to go from there. I feel like I need to put a bumper in here. It goes, racist. No. Anyway.
I could think of this. Oh,
Jesus.
look, honey, it's the wet bags. It's Sanchez.
The Chappelle Show. That's such a good one. It's my favorite people. Anyway, all right, I'm going to go ahead.
The technical difficulties.
Man, I don't even know. Who's on more allergy medicine today, you or me? The Colognes are going to go back and work with their family in Puerto Rico, where Carlito is. I'm cool with that. I think that's, end of the day, 100% where they're going to go. And I'm pretty sure that's exactly what... yeah, that's what he has, too. That's what Nightwing has. Sorry, it's a little smaller print. The next one... I mean, it should have been done a long time ago, but instead they said, you know what? Let's have you walk for like 8 months with a cage. But don't worry, no one's going to see what's inside the cage. Actually, we'll cover it up. People get scared of it when they see it. And when it comes out, it's a fucking toy.
Yeah, it's a toy.
That a 3-year-old would be bored with after a minute.
Yep.
Dumb. Rowan should have been fired a long time ago. I don't give a shit where Eric Rowan goes. I've never cared for him. Ever. I'm sorry, he was just too bland for me. I thought that when they were a tag team, I was a much bigger fan of Luke Harper, not only, just, in a biased way, but I thought he carried that team. I thought he was the blah person in the Wyatt family. I liked it when Strowman showed up because the way he looked when his hair was all goofy looking, he looked like the dude from Revenge of the Nerds. So it's, yeah, he really did. I love that. I don't really care where Rowan shows up, but I'm going to probably say at best, I'm going to agree with Nightwing, NWA. Very, very best.
I'm saying Impact.
Oh my God.
I got you again, man.
No, but you're right. You know what's funny is that what I always love is that anytime someone goes to Impact, someone always takes the name and fucks it up from WWE because that's what Impact does. They'll kind of reverse the name sometime or mess it up.
Right.
So now this will be, oh my God, what is Morwin doing in the Impact Zone?
Morwin. That's actually not half bad.
That's true. Spider-Man. No, already used. The Bennetts, the Canellises, whatever you want to call them, Mike and Maria. Now, what's crazy is that, a couple hours from now while we're recording this, they are set to be making an announcement during Raw. I don't know how, but I'm not sure what their plan is. It could be retirement. I got to say, the one good thing that ever came from Mike Kanellis being in WWE, this dude got sober. He got clean.
Yeah.
The best shape of his life. Looks awesome. I was a fan of him when he was in The Kingdom with Adam Cole and Matt Taven. I was always a big fan of him in Ring of Honor. But When he came to WWE, he showed up at a pay-per-view, said, I am my wife's last name, and that was it. I never really saw shit out of him. But he went through some problems and obviously needed to get help, and glad he did. Where he shows up, I think sky for him really could be the limit. I think best possible option for him, I'm going to go ahead and say I even agree with Nightwing on this. I don't think both of them go. I think Maria is done. I think Maria stays home.
Couple kids now, right?
Yeah. And I think Mike goes to AEW. Not to say she can't be a part of some storyline shit every now and then if she wanted to, but not needed. I think he needs to be on. She doesn't need to be his voice. I think he should just go out. I mean, Jesus, with Tully, come on. Grab Spears, grab MJF, grab who's the other guy we talked about a couple weeks ago we said would have been a perfect fit inside that crew. Wardlow, you know what I mean? Like, just make a whole four horseman type stable. And Jesus, Bennett would fit the product. You know, look at him. He's looks like $1 million. AEW, for sure, is where I think.
Yeah, that's not bad. You know, yeah, you've certainly intrigued me on that. I was going to say NWA.
I think that he'll do okay in NWA, but I don't know. I think that, I mean, it's not that he couldn't become a world champion there. Maybe it's pay. Maybe I'm not sure because
who's the Ring of Honor champion right now?
Ring of Honor champion?
Yeah,
Roosh.
Oh, okay.
PCO dropped it at like some random like house show or some shit like that, or a show that didn't matter. The NWA, you know, Nick Aldis versus Bennett would be great. You know, things like that, or some of those guys over there. But the problem is, if I'm not mistaken, that you're going to run into with NWA is they record in one place and one place only. I'm not sure if they do tapings in advance like Impact or if they do weekly shows, but that would maybe possibly make a big decision on some of these guys who could go to NWA because maybe you do have to move your family. A lot of these guys are in the Florida or Connecticut area because of being WWE based, but if maybe you have to go towards Nashville at this point, who knows, or Memphis. Zack Ryder, motherfucker, are you serious? You let go the number one broski?
I never was a fan myself, but I get it.
I just think it's one of those guys deserve more, did not need to get cut. Absolutely. This.
Yeah, that's not what I'm getting at, but yeah.
No, I as a performer, I'm sure it's just nothing that, I mean, he's been, Jesus, the woo-woo shit was over years and years ago.
Right.
But the only time I ever loved having Zack Ryder in something was when he won the U.S. Championship. It was really cool watching him in that moment at TLC, beating Dolph Ziggler. Crowd went ape shit, and he went nuts with his dad. Then the other one was obviously him winning the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, it's cool moments like that.
But dropped it the next night to fucking Miz.
I think we're going to see Zack Ryder show up in AEW.
Yeah.
Big enough name.
Yep. Agreed.
Let's see. Where's Nightwing have him? Nightwing has AEW as well.
AEW,
yep. I mean, yeah, I think that there's no other place for him. I don't think he would do anything on Ring of Honor, NWA, MLW, anywhere else. You know where I wouldn't mind seeing him go? New Japan. Think about him going over there. Now, here's why I say this. We don't know what Zack Ryder can really do. Right? Go out there, do your boot, do this, pump your fist in the air, and look like you're using a shake weight while saying
no, I got what you're saying. Okay. Yeah.
I didn't care for CJ Parker in NXT. I was like, whatever. All of a sudden, Juice Robinson shows up in New Japan.
Right.
And this dude is a stiff worker. He is good. He has great matches. Why can't Zack Ryder go over there? I would like to see that as a second place for him.
I like it.
Because imagine him going over there. He becomes credible. People see him getting his ass kicked, but that he's a real fighter. Now you come back over. Now the pop in AEW, even better. Fuck you, WWE.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. I got to be honest with you. At the end of the day, we are going to, at the end of this episode, we're going to tell you what to expect for the rest of these episodes coming up here, because we are going to be seeing our season finale soon. But I am so pissed off, to be honest with you, with WWE, with kind of all these firings and all the shit that's been going on. For the next several weeks, we're not talking WWE. We're going to be talking WCW, ECW, TNA, Ring of Honor. We have so many other things we can talk about because they just pissed me off to a point right now. Anyway, who do we got next?
No way.
Oh, no,
Jose.
yes way. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Go ahead. He's good. Go. Indies at best.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think he's going to... What's he going to do? Conga line all the way through AEW? I don't give a shit.
Maybe AAA.
Look, let's kind of, for a moment here, we're going to skip the next one here for just half a second.
Well, I
just
was
do
gonna
me a
say,
favor
I
and
don't-
give me this entire next list.
Gotcha,
This
okay.
Go ahead.
So more releases. Deonna Purrazzo from NXT. I think the rest of
I
these
think
are all
AEW would be
NXT.
great for her. That's it.
Yep. NXT is the rest of these, or I'm sorry, yeah, the rest of these are NXT, I think. Alexander Jaksic, MJ Jenkins,
Leroy Jenkins.
damn it, Leroy, Taynara Conti, Tino Sabatelli, Nick Ogarelli. See, these sound made up. Caesar Bonani, Mars Wang, Dorian Mack have all been released.
Something Wong. Fuck
Jesus.
me. No, but you know what's really crazy is that, yes, they do sound made up. They actually sound like a bunch of names that you could find on 2K, and they're like, if you say this, we'll actually announce these names for you.
Yeah, right.
You know, the only name out of all those guys that you just said was Tino Sabanali or whatever. He's the only one I've seen on NXT, really at all, out of all those people. So
Deonna Purrazzo I've seen.
Sure.
A lot.
Well, I mean, that's why I had mentioned her going to AEW. The other ones,
okay,
I
I
really
gotcha,
don't know where anybody's going to end up. I'm going to go ahead and say probably 80 to 90% of those people are either going to be in super indie type areas, whether it be, you know, PWG or AAA or things like that, MLW. But I don't think any of them are going to be showing up anywhere else.
No, some European probably, European independent promotions probably
Yeah.
too for some of them.
And especially, you know, how, you know, that little place in Mexico, Puerto Rico. Never mind. Jesus. So let's talk about some of the producers that got let go.
So these are furloughed as of now. Fit Finley, Lance Storm, motherfucking IRS got furloughed on tax day.
Ain't that some
How
shit?
the fuck do you let that happen? Hurricane Helms, Scott Armstrong, Pat Buck, Sarah Stock, Sean Davari, and Billy Kidman.
Now, furloughed. So are they still kind of on retainer with WWE?
Not really,
And we're
no.
just not
It's,
paying you right now?
it's don't
or-
come to work, we're not paying you. There's a possibility that we'll rehire you when this is over, is basically.
But do they have a 90-day clause where if they want to go somewhere else, they can?
that I don't know.
Fit Finley would be a tremendous. Well, hang on, let me back that up. Fit Finley, Lance Storm, Billy Kidman, and Sean Davari, and Scott Armstrong, all of them could do great for any of the companies we just talked about today.
Sure.
Ring of Honor, NWA, AEW, excellent minds of the game. Finley has been around a long time. I think Mike Rotunda also would be the same.
Sure.
But damn it, both of those boys still work in WWE, so I guess it's that's at least a good thing. I don't know if we'll see Rotunda go anywhere, to be honest with you. He's one of the guys I don't see moving on to anywhere.
Right.
I could see Finley wanting to work with Dean Malenko and Arn Anderson and all those guys over in AEW. I mean, the more the merrier for that group over there, to be honest with
Sure.
you. Like, of those minds. If they're behind the scenes,
Keep the young
all
guys
for
in
it.
check, man. You know, don't keep them from hot shotting and
Yeah.
keep things grounded.
Teach him the game the right way.
Right.
You know, as far as Helms, I would say he's actually probably going to be showing up in AEW. Only because his ties with Matt Hardy.
Yep.
I'm not sure how long Jeff has on contract because obviously he was out injured for a bit. But
God, could you imagine Jeff showing up at AEW?
He will. It's going to happen.
Oh yeah.
There's no way he doesn't show up in AEW at some point unless WWE says we're about to make you a WWE champion and you're going to headline WrestleMania next year. Anything we can do for you to not go over there and be with your brother. Other than that, and that's a brass ring. Nah, he'll be over there soon. I imagine as soon as the contract is right. But then we do have a couple of furloughed coaches. We have Ace Steel, who that's CM Punk's right-hand man that he grew up with in the business. You also have Serena Deeb, as we all remember, was a part of the Straight Edge Society as well. Shaved her head. And the other one was Kendo Cashin. Did I say that right?
Sure.
Not really sure where everybody's going on those. Serena, I'm not sure really what her age is, and meaning like I'm not sure if she has any tread left on the tires to get in the ring and do some matches. Wouldn't mind seeing her be a mind for the women talent in AEW. If she's been working backstage at WWE, she at least could bring some really good knowledge to. I mean, she's been working with developmental for quite some time with WWE, so she could bring excellent knowledge over to the women's division in AEW. Lord knows they need it. I mean, how many times have we said just scrap the AEW women's division already?
Pretty much, yeah.
So we've talked about everybody. Cool.
No, we didn't.
No, we haven't. I know. And we have mentioned it because not only was IRS let go on tax day, the Bulgarian brute, Rusev, was let go on Rusev Day. All right. I'm just going to start by saying this. Hottest commodity next to the Revival.
Yep.
If this layoff didn't happen, Revival is everything that everybody's going to be paying attention to for the next little bit. Going, where are they going? Now it's a great game of where they're going to go. But Rusev is probably at everybody's biggest top of their list, and someone that did say he is at the top of his list. He's his number one priority, JR. Right. Good old JR. Jim Ross said that I want Rusev in AEW, and if I had him there, I would make him our number one priority. He would have great world title matches. Plain and simple. There you go. That's all we needed. He should have been doing that a long time ago. I think right after his feud with Cena and losing the U.S. title, losing his streak, boom, that was it. Go on. Now move on to a world title feud. That's okay. You lose right there. That's all right. Everybody has to do it at some point, but now move on. And they didn't. They went completely backwards, put him in League of Nations by the next year.
And he still got himself over.
Yeah. I mean, Jesus, you had a guy coming out singing your name and putting the word day next to it. You can say that a lot of people were like, oh, well, Lana was over more than Rusev. People were liking that. No, they weren't chanting Lana Day. They were chanting Rusev Day. It's Vince just liking tits and ass. He loves that hot blonde, and he just wants to promote the living shit out of her. He doesn't care about Rusev because Rusev is not big enough. He's not fast enough. Whatever the fuck he doesn't see in Rusev, fuck you, Vince.
He's everything enough.
Dude, he reminds me so much like he could have been the Iron Sheik the way he was presented when he first came in. You know what I mean? With her Russian accent and everything like that. I mean, it was seriously like watching Rocky IV. She was the blonde chick from Rocky IV. You know what I mean? Like the whole thing was perfect. I don't know how they dropped the ball on that. No doubt in my mind that dude's showing up in AEW. No doubt in my mind. That's what Nightwing has too. There's no way that he is going anywhere else.
I can see it. The pop will be great. If he goes there.
Wait, I'm sorry.
He should be, huh?
I apologize. Nightwing says Super Indie.
For Rusev?
Yeah.
Well, I got something different too.
We're against you, bro. I am, at least. Sorry, man. We're that one I'm against you. There's no way.
Yeah, I don't see Super Indie. He's got way too much drawing power. I don't see anything except AEW, and he should be champ within a month. And And I like the idea of AEW because he'll instantly be a star and it's accessible, right? I can see it easy. Although, him in New Japan would be something fucking else. Because, like you said it with Zack Ryder.
That's who you were mentioning.
You said it. You said it with Zack Ryder. We haven't been able to see what he can do. Can you imagine him tearing through the G1?
Oh my God! And look what they did to Moxley. They put him in there, and they were like, "Nah, man, we'll promote the shit out of you. As long as you can go in these matches, we'll let you go."
And he can probably do both, just like Moxley did.
Oh man, you know what sucks is that Michael Elgin has gotten himself into Impact, and I was always a very big fan of him. I would have much rather seen him stay in New Japan or at least show up somewhere else. He's a great big guy, and Rusev and him are the same kind of build, and I would love to see a matchup like that. Oh my God, kid. Tomohiro Ishii versus Rusev. Jesus fucking, even Okada versus Rusev. Any one of those guys. Jay White. Ooh, you changed my mind. I now, instead of super indies, we're going to kind of give you a little bit of credit. A little bit. We won't say super indies, but we're going to say he's going to do a super tour.
Yeah.
I think he is going to get over to Japan first. Probably stay there for quite some time. Or maybe even have a Jericho-type contract. You know, him and Moxley are able to go back and forth.
That's what I'm thinking, right?
And he will eventually show up in AEW. I think he's going to make a pit stop in New Japan. You just changed my mind.
You gotta go back to this episode, see how many times it is. You just put on a little counter every time you say that. You just changed my mind. Ding!
Bing! Wow. That's crazy. Well, you know, it sucks that so many guys got let go. You know, at the end of the day, you know, just to wrap up this is all of our news today. We had that in the think. But
I do have a couple things I just want to run through real quick after your closing remarks.
Well, I was just going to say this whole thing sucks, but I want to say silver lining out of this. Maybe other companies are going to thrive. One thing that Nightwing said is he thinks, and I really would love this idea. You know, you have NWA, MLW, even Ring of Honor, PWG, all those places. What if NWA becomes that main star promotion in the one world champion that goes around to all those territories? And you know what I mean? Like kind of bringing back that old school territory style with NWA. This is the time to do it if we're going to do something like this. So I think it's a good idea. Unfortunately, it's one of those wishful thinking things, especially, you know, that we all want. We know it's not going to happen.
It is, yeah.
I'm just saying silver lining in all of this. The good news is we are going to be seeing a change in other companies. And I think it's all for the bad against WWE. It's like it's not going to do anything good for them is what I mean.
Yeah, I have words on that, but I'll save those for another time.
Why would you save them for another time? We're talking about it right now.
Yeah, I think it'll fit better later.
Dickhead. All right, man. What did you want to say with your news?
Real quick. So it's rumored that on Raw Monday, this past Monday, that Lana and Bobby Lashley will finally split. So there is some good news to think about because we don't have to deal with that anymore.
You already saw it was going to happen at WrestleMania, just how the Aleister Black match ended. She
But
gave
it's
him a
like
dirty
something
look,
to
and I
clamor.
go, yeah.
It's like, thank
Jesus.
God. Let's just get it over with. Jinder Mahal's been cleared for an in-ring return. So
Don't hinder the gender.
there you go. I don't know if you
Big.
saw. Have
He's
you
good
seen,
shit.
Have you seen the Revival's teased new name?
The Revolt.
The Revolt, so they can still use hashtag FTR because it's Fear the Revolt.
I like
so
that.
there's that.
I
And
just found on YouTube the other day, it came up randomly for me. It was a compilation. You guys should just look it up. Look up Cody Rhodes saying "fuck the Revival" comp.
yes.
And it's just 2 straight minutes of him doing it, and it's so hysterical. One of my favorite ones is all the guys. You have the Bucks, Kenny Omega, Cody, and Brandy. They're all looking down at the camera as it's on the ground. And on the count of 3, they all say, "Welcome to Ring of Honor." But she goes, "Fuck the Revival!" And they all laugh like it was like they didn't even know it was going to happen. It was like they actually played it off like they didn't know. It was really cool. But Yeah, FTR, fuck the Revival.
One final piece of news, and I hate to give WWE credit, but it's got potential. Have you heard what's going on with Money in the Bank?
Yeah, I don't want to watch it.
I
think
know.
it's stupid.
It seems like a train.
We're going to start in the basement. It's going to be a boiler room brawl, and it's going to go all the way in through the lobby. You're going to go all the way into the elevators. You're going to go all the way to the top. From there, you are going to have to get the access key that goes to the main roof that only the janitors are able to use. And then when you get to there, you're going to have to get up to the very top and get on top of the fucking roof. From there will be a triple cage where David Arquette will be holding the world championship. Fuck that thing. That's stupid.
Okay, well, never mind then. We're not even going to talk about it because.
Oh wow, there's you're like, oh, I kind of like this idea. I
do.
That to shreds.
What?
I'm so sorry, man.
I don't care. Whatever, man. It's gonna be awful. I know it's gonna be awful.
You know why I have no faith in it? Because
it's WWE.
All right, I was okay. Well, yeah, but all right, I was cool with the Boneyard match. I was cool with the Firefly Funhouse match. After watching Ciampa and Gargano, I do not have faith in the production of what this thing is going to look like. They're going to show you security camera footage of guys in different areas in black and white with no sound, and then it's going to be, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to be really overplayed dumb. Not looking forward to it. So sorry I shit on it so quick, but that's the reason why, is because their production is. That's why AEW is. I think it's a better looking show on Wednesday nights.
Sure.
Ooh. What a segue.
Wednesday Night Wars!
All right, so this past week we had pretty good shows actually from both. Some brought some good, both brought bad. Both had some pretty good main event type stuff too. I think that NXT left us off with the best cliffhanger that they have in a long time, which is cool. And AEW ended with pretty good world title classic between Hager and Moxley. So O.D.M, let's talk about what happened this past week with Wednesday Night Wars.
Yeah, listen, you can't really use the excuse it's because of coronavirus. Maybe you can, maybe you can't, but NXT took it second week in a row, 692 to 683. NXT, like you said, ended great. Started off with a great match between Finn Balor and Fabian Eichner. Real hard-hitting match. Balor was tore up halfway through the match. I love that he's not ending with the coup de grace. He's ending with the 1916. Great finisher. Great match building up to that match with Walter. There's a Charlotte Flair package. Zia Lee defeated Aaliyah. They ran a little package on the Cruiserweight Tourney package. They had the first match. They're doing kind of like I don't know, like
a round robin tournament.
Round robin, yeah. Akira Tozawa defeated Isaiah Swerve Scott. It was actually a really good match. And we got a video package for El Hijo del Fantasma. Mm-hmm. I'm excited to see this, dude.
Absolutely. It's that's a good. It sucks when you see this. You're like, that's a good signing, and you're like, cool. We also just talked about all the people we just let go.
Right.
This is weird. You know what I mean? Like, kind of like when SmackDown happened 2 days after Black Wednesday. I'm like, I feel bad watching anything right now that WWE puts out there, because I'm like, what about the guys that are sitting at home that don't get to do this? And not just WWE, but anywhere along the way. Hey, quick side thing. Speaking of these guys, did you happen to see or hear what Dolph Ziggler did? Dude went on to. It may not have been Pro Wrestling Tees, but he went out and bought a bunch of wrestling indie shirts.
I saw that.
Just for,
and
you know that's how those guys get paid.
And he wore a Zack Ryder one on SmackDown.
Did he really?
Yep.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Because he's a huge fan of Zack Ryder. He put over Ryder. Huge.
Sure, it's a love-hate thing with me with Ziggler, but what he did, I think he's a righteous dude in the end. So what he did was super cool. So
I saw him in his stand-up comedy, and I think that Ziggler, what you see on TV, and him actually as a comedian and as just kind of as a person, I thought were going to be the same thing. Two totally different people.
Cool.
He's kind of a pretty cool, humble guy. So for him to go out and buy the shirts, I was like, I think everybody who's fucking employed in WWE and makes the money they do, you know what I mean? Come on.
Right.
Oh, god damn it. I wanted to throw one more thing about money earlier, and I didn't get to, and I'm going to say it right now. How much fucking money do you think they paid Bill Goldberg to do just the last couple of months?
Oh, dude.
It was millions,
Yeah.
and now you let these motherfuckers go. That bothers me. That one bothered me. That was one more thing I wanted to say.
Okay. All right.
And he didn't put anybody over. I probably could cut and paste this back in that segment earlier, and I'm not going to. I want you to be equally as mad as me. All right, I'm with NXT. With his fucking spear and his goddamn jackhammer.
Ladies and gentlemen, we at the Top of Wrestling would like to apologize for the unexpected interruption. We are experiencing technical difficulties and expect to return to our normally scheduled podcast momentarily. Anyway, back to the Wednesday Night Wars. Tegan Nox had a match with Raquel Gonzalez. It wasn't a bad match. Dakota Kai was there, obviously. But Shotzi Blackheart
Feud is still going.
What's that? Yeah, feud's
The
still going.
feud
No,
is-
absolutely.
I love
And that's
it.
going to tie in. We'll talk about more about that later.
But
Dexter-
Shotzi, yes.
Yeah,
No, but
Shotzi. Yep. I like it.
That's
Bring
cool
her
with
in.
me.
Bring it in.
I thought that was a good way to bring her into the mix because I didn't really care about Raquel Gonzalez when she first helped out Dakota Kai in that cage match.
That
I was like,
it was a flat pop. Yeah.
and I was like, okay, but I'm like, oh, okay. So we're building. I mean, it's not like when Shawn brought out Diesel the very first time everybody went nuts. It's a slow
Right.
process. And in a way, with this Tegan Nox Dakota Kai feud, bringing in Shotzi Blackheart and with Raquel Gonzalez, now you have not only a feud going, but a feud within itself, as well as you're putting more people over. I love it. That is actually good television. I'm actually really intrigued with that feud. I said it since the day it began.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that. Awesome.
Dexter Loomis and his crazy ass defeated Tahuti Miles. Interested to see where they're going to go with him.
He's scary looking.
He is. That's his gimmick. I love the next part. I love the Velveteen Dream Balor promo. So awesome. The shot of Balor just standing in the background, like, are you? Because as soon as
When he just came out of nowhere, how they had the camera with his Velveteen's head,
Yep.
and they just pan
it was
over,
like
and
a
there he
profile,
is.
Yep.
Even I went, woo! That was good camera
But the thing
work.
is, I kind of knew it was coming because Dream goes, Adam Cole, you might be the greatest NXT champion ever. I'm like, oh, motherfucker, Finn Balor's got something to say about that. And then
It's
they
true.
showed him, and I was like, perfect. You did it.
How they're building this right now, I would not mind Adam Cole retaining his world title all the way until next WrestleMania season, and then Finn Balor and him finally meet. You know what I mean? Like, just keep building and building. He's dodging or something like that. Because maybe not SummerSlam. Well, everything's on hold right now, man.
At
I
this
don't know.
point, it could be Survivor Series.
I don't. Yeah, exactly. Maybe what they should do is they should put the title in the basement of Money at the Money in the Bank, but those guys start on the roof, and maybe they pass by each other when the matches are happening. There's a ladder
That
match.
would be
They go,
hilarious.
"Oh, hey guys,
You know what?
up?"
You sold me. I love it. I want it now.
Wouldn't it be the funniest thing? Oh, hey, what are you guys doing here? Nothing. Then they just go right back to fighting.
Oh, I love it. It's good. All right. So anyway,
Awesome. Yes, this is my favorite part. Go ahead.
yeah, Matt Riddle and oh my god, I just spaced on his name. I can't believe it. Dunn.
Timothy Thatcher.
No, not Timothy Thatcher. Dunn.
Oh,
Dunn
that's
came
what
on
I
the
was-
Tron and said, "I got you.
Gotcha.
I got you, partner." So yeah, Matt Riddle, Timothy Thatcher versus Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong. Solid match, man. Timothy Thatcher is just like a Cockney bar guy who is just gonna beat the shit out of people. That's pretty much his
And
thing.
extremely over. I don't want to say in the indie circuit or I would not like that, but I just want to say he's extremely over and well known by people who peek their eyes beyond the big conglomerate. Let's say that. If you look into other promotions, he is the shit. And Timothy Thatcher in NXT is huge. What's going to happen though is I think that he's going to end up turning on Riddle and done, and he's going to probably join Imperium.
Ooh, the joining Imperium thing is interesting. But I definitely can see him turning.
Just playing off of that whole kind of like the Roderick Strong Pete Dunne one, how someone, turns on him and joins in the other group. I was here all along just to mess things up.
Right.
Maybe that's how the tag titles get put on Imperium, maybe, or something like that.
That'd be
Even though
interesting.
there's two sets, there's two sets or whatever. But first, that should be done. We need to combine the NXT titles, UK and World.
Right,
Just make them one brand. But besides that, I do have to say, Thatcher's finishing move, I want to put that on someone. Like, if I ever got in a fight in a bar or something like that, I would love to put an arm bar on someone like that, where you put their arm so high in the air you're about to break their shoulder. His finishing move was so sick that the tap out happened within like 2 seconds of it getting put on. That's sick. So yeah, that was huge. But that's not how we ended NXT, is it?
No, man. And listen, we've seen this before where NXT puts the graphic in the corner and it's not the end. So Ciampa looks like he's setting up his phone to record something, and he's basically just saying, all right, Johnny, you're the better man. You won the feud. I can't do this anymore.
He said it's over.
Yep. And then you see the NXT graphic in the corner. And then he gets hit, noise, the phone falls, you hear a lot of commotion, and then tick-tock. Killer Cross finally appears on screen.
But he's not known as Killer Cross, is he?
No, he will not be known as Killer Cross.
What was the name? I'm that's not sitting here on my notes, but do you know the name that WWE is giving them?
I don't. I've heard that that it's not going to be Killer Cross.
Oh, I think it was like Karrion Cross.
Oh, okay.
Or it could be Karion. I don't know. I haven't actually heard it out loud. Who knows? It was like Karion. I'm like, of course they're not going to use Killer.
You also saw the boots of his valet, who I couldn't remember her name, and last weekend, obviously.
Penelope Ford 2.0. No.
Okay.
Hey, huge fan that Killer Cross is there. They're picking up names,
They are.
Good. And,
you got Thatcher, you got Cross. I think Loomis has got potential. You got El Hijo del Fantasma. Those right there, I think that's enough, right?
Okay, I'm about to. Wow, I know I know that we had to have a technical difficulty issue a couple minutes ago, and I was losing my mind about money that's not even mine, or jobs that wasn't even mine. But I'm going to give a 1%, tiny bit of logic behind letting all the guys go. Where is the wrestling fan base focus? It's Wednesday night, man. Everybody pays attention to NXT. Everybody pays attention to AEW. No one's going, did you see what happened on Raw? Oh my God, on SmackDown. No, it's what happened on both of the shows. You know what I mean? Like I you get reports of it, but it's really, people are wanting to see what's the difference between NXT and AEW, because that's where the big stars are. That's where, not the big stars, that's where the true wrestling fans, wrestlers are at. That being said, when your Raw is doing such shit numbers and your SmackDown is doing all of that, do you really need your mid-card talent then? Keep using all your bigger stars as you want to keep doing, and I guess maybe you could focus your profits into things like NXT, because me saying that, because now you just take on Killer Cross. You just took on who's the crazy eye dude? Dexter Loomis. You take on Timothy Thatcher. My point is that they are trying to build that. So maybe there's a 1% logic as to why they let a lot of the WWE mid-card talent go. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying maybe that was a business logic standpoint. Thoughts?
You're giving WWE too much credit. And there's the fact that even with Raw and SmackDown doing shitty numbers, they do typically, they do better than NXT and AEW individually.
But they're not up against any wrestling
because there are, listen, we live in a bubble, right? There are a lot of us out there who would prefer to watch NXT and AEW, and that's what we do. But there's still a very large number of people who have no idea what NXT is, and they watch every Raw and SmackDown. There are a large amount of people that exist like that. And
Oh, I
that's
know,
the
man. There's some
problem.
Facebook groups out there that I swear, oh my God, I swear, just 2 days ago, someone wrote, Braun Strowman has been champion for 48 hours. 2 days ago. He's been world champion for 48 hours. And I go, what the fuck? And someone's like, yo, WrestleMania was like 2 weeks ago, man. So you're right. There's some really stupid people out there that are either behind, not paying attention, so they don't even know NXT exists. They only know WWE. You know what I mean? Like, people are
That's
just
all they
not
want.
Yeah, so you're right. You know, it everybody just knows Raw. It's been there since '93. It's a guarantee. It's a weekly episodic cable television show. It's nonstop, the number one, and yada yada yada. Really is. So I guess at the same point, you know, you're right. You know, it's the. Yeah, I guess I shouldn't have given that credit. Shame on me. Shame on me.
Not even for being good people or for making a sound business decision. But NXT,
You know, they just didn't make a logical decision. That's
yeah,
the point.
exactly. Like logic goes out the window. So anyway, NXT.
Let's
I
talk
thought
about AEW.
it was a good show. Yeah, AEW. I think AEW is a really good show too. Opens with another Jake promo. Fantastic as always.
Oh, I love these dark fireside promos,
Yep.
man.
He's killing it. He's killing it. Lance Archer versus Colt Cabana. Colt Cabana.
Come on
Boom,
now.
boom, Colt Cabana. It was okay. I wish it's tough, right? Because you got to give Colt some juice, right? He's a vet. He's established, so it's like, all right, he can give Archer a little bit of a run. But in the end, it was the right decision. Lance Archer wins, moves on. So
I don't think if they're going to put this TNT title on Lance Archer, fine. If they're not going to, he shouldn't have been in this tournament. And the reason I say that,
sure,
or unless it's going to lead to him and Cody in the finals or whatever, is my point. The only reason I say that is because for someone like Cabana, could have used a win. You're trying to. His whole video promo was about, like, I have fun, man, but I'm a wrestler and I've been all over the world. Yeah, who cares that Lance Archer was in Japan? I've been wrestling in Japan for 20 years.
Right.
I've been all over the place, and it made me really love Cabana again. Honestly, that video package was really well put together. I actually like that.
it was.
And you know, and I've been a fan of his because I loved watching all the Ring of Honor stuff. Second City Saints, him and Punk and Steel, just all that stuff. With I would have at least, maybe the other option would have been, instead of maybe not having Lance Archer in there, I would have shifted the order around. I don't know if I would have put Cabana versus him, because now he just got killed. Where does Cabana go from there? Really?
Yeah, but it was also against Archer, so you can kind of be like, yeah, okay.
Nah, everybody
We're
dies.
not gonna fault you on that one. Right. So
yeah.
next up, we had Britt Baker beat the Golden One or something. Cassandra Golden. Don't know who
Yeah.
she is. Don't care. Britt Baker
Pretty quick
getting
match.
better and better week by week. She's getting Britt Baker.
You know, last week she was bleeding pretty good
Yep.
from her match, but she lost that one, which kind of got me for some reason. You know, like it kind of goes back and forth with her,
Sure.
but she's
They're pushing
got to be the
Sheeta.
next women's champion, but at some point. But I just literally had to stop right now while you were talking and go, wait, who's the women's champion? Because I'm like, I don't really see her anymore. You know what I
Right.
mean? And it's
Well, I think a lot of it's just probably COVID related. So it's
sure. And
no
I guess
fault
if
of
you
their
want
own.
the option to stay home, or maybe if someone has they're prone to anything, you know, like especially, you know, with Roman Reigns, leukemia, he needs to be away from everything. You know what
Sure.
I mean? Like, we don't want it to trigger anything. So who knows what anybody has deep down as well. So the best part of AEW's entire show was, without a doubt, the Bubbly Bunch.
Yeah, it was great.
Dude. And playing into Ortiz having the stuffed animals just sitting there, and I go, damn it, O.D.M. is so right. Now that I'm seeing that, I'm like,
told
it just
you,
brings
man.
that extra crazy. That shit was awesome. And then Jake Hager, kids, cover your ears.
Earmuffs.
That kicked earmuffs.
I'm gonna kick
It's
the
funny
living
how
shit out of
Jericho.
Jon Moxley.
Oh my God, that was awesome. But then I also loved how Jericho spills orange juice. They show it like he spills the orange juice all over the counter. Counter's completely clean in the next shot. But I think they purposely made it do that, because he purposely missed it in the cup. Then they did the bubbly bunch. It was just awesome. The whole segment. I was
hilarious.
like, I need more of that shit.
And Jericho was
perfect.
And Jericho was on commentary again and killed it. All right, Sammy Guevara defeated Suge D, a.k.a. Pineapple Pete. Made Sammy look like $1 million, which was what should have happened. So, yeah, bravo. Kip Sabian with Penelope Ford defeated Chuck Taylor with freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. All right, so here's the deal. I like Kip Sabian. I like what he's about. I think he's good with Penelope Ford. Chuck Taylor, a.k.a. Shu, as the professor has dubbed him, I am not too crazy about. Orange Cassidy is starting to warm up to me a little bit just from the comedy aspect, and he can actually go. But Jimmy Havoc ended up interfering and kind of siding with Kip Sabian, so that might be like a cool little alliance that can last for a little bit.
That intrigued me. Because once he showed up and I go, and he took out Orange Cassidy, I was totally loving that. I was like, because I'm fucking over Orange Cassidy. I loved his match with Pac. I think it was cool. It was perfect.
Right.
Like the rolling in and out of the ring and fucking with him and stuff, but it was well done.
So, so now
the shtick has to end.
Right. But now we should be getting Orange Cassidy versus Jimmy Havoc, so that'll be interesting.
Right.
Sean Spears, squash match, beat Justin Law. Good win for him, I guess, And then we had our main event, Jon Moxley against Jake Hager. Went all over the arena, and I thought it was a good match. It
was good.
It was good. Was it better than the Orton Edge one?
Well, yeah. Well, shorter. I like the Orton Edge one. Because I actually, after we bitched about how long that one went, I read an interview that Edge did, and I can't remember with who it was, but he actually said most, if not everything, all of it, was just on the fly. They didn't talk anything out. They just went through and just did the motions. It just ended up being a 45-minute classic. And Bret Hart texted Edge and said to him, excellent job on the match, because it told a whole story. It was long. End of the day, 9 years later, he deserved a 45-minute night. I'm okay with that. If he can go 45 minutes, he said he didn't feel winded or anything at the end of it. I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's good news for Edge. I don't think the Moxley Hager match was anything special. I think it was good.
That was good.
But Tony Khan said he thinks it was the best empty arena match of all time. That's what he promoted it as. And I go, so I had some actually high expectations after reading that tweet last week and then sitting down and watching the match. And I watch it and I go, oh, you dick. You got me. You just baited me into watch this for no reason.
Right.
I was going to watch it anyway, but I just had higher expectations. So, I'm trying to get on board with a fanless crowd. It's tough. I think AEW does a better job with it, as we talked about. NXT has potential to do cool things, kind of like how they did the appearance of Baylor, how he just comes out of nowhere. I like that. That's at least playing into your production.
Right.
Not so much like your video production last week with the Gargano Ciampa.
Listen, again, it did make it less enjoyable, but ultimately I think it was good.
Yep, absolutely. But, if we're going to talk about Wednesday Night Wars, it's always AEW versus NXT, just like the chant does. But today's top topic is just one of those brands. It is NXT. We are talking the top 10 feuds of NXT.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for
answers, I change the questions.
I did it for The Rock.
This week's top topic.
You know something mean, Gene? John Cena.
Wrestling's not fake!
The Rolex wearing one. Diamond ring wearing one. Kid stealing. Woo! Wheeling dealing. One. Limousine right. One. Jet flying. One. Son of a gun. Woo!
Sierra Hotel. India. Echo. Lima. Delta. Shield.
If you smell.
The following ranking order and final decisions are a completely bias-based order, based off The Professor and O.D.M. made it. And as always, they like to let you know they have not worked in the business, but have been lifelong invested fans much like you, our listeners. With not only their opinions involved, but with countless amount of hours of research done each week, they make sure to provide proper facts and history to back it up. However, they do know that your opinion may vary from theirs. If there is anything you want to chat about, bring to their attention. If there is something they missed or forgot, or you just want to let them know they are out of their freaking minds, feel free to shoot them a message on Facebook or Twitter, or email them at thetopofwrestling@gmail.com. As always, they do appreciate all feedback and continued support. At the end of the day, they want to make sure that you do see the best of the best before you die. And now, this week's top topic.
You know, this is one of those topics I'm really excited about talking about because really at the end of the day, it's really talking about the future. Because it's a lot of young talent that is on this list, so we know that we're going to see a lot of these people in other feuds, or maybe even see these feuds get revisited down the road somehow, somewhere. I'm always a big fan of a feud. I like one that tells a story, and I've said it from the very beginning how much I absolutely love Tegan Nox versus Dakota Kai. How they're laying this entire story out has been one of the best storylined rivalries that NXT, I feel, has done overall in all of its existence when it comes to rivalries. And you know what? That's why it actually comes in at number 10. That's right, a rivalry that just started, half a year ago? Would it start basically at War Games?
Yeah, so Thanksgiving time, right about?
Yeah, so for it to already be on our NXT list, and we're dicks. You guys know that we don't let anything just on this list for no reason. That's how awesome that feud really is, honestly. Kai and Nox, it's cool. And like we said, now we're getting Blackheart and Gonzalez involved. It's a good building storyline, and that's what really that's drawn me into wrestling. But if you're going to build anybody, right there, start them from the ground up. A good storyline, get them involved, not just putting them in matches and just seeing if they get over. Make me care for their character. You actually have sympathy for Tegan Nox when she's getting jumped and stuff. It just overall, I think this is a really good feud, and that's why it made number 10. Number 9 is probably the first big feud that NXT had. We're talking Cesaro versus Sami Zayn. And this goes to the very first NXT Arrival show. It was Arrival was technically the first takeover, if you will. And on this card, these guys opened up in a classic match. They also had a 2 out of 3 falls match that took place on, I think it would have been their NXT TV or whatever, was just straight to the network at that time.
It was just NXT, yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like Cesaro, at this point, he was not in NXT. He was already in the We the People phase
Zen culture.
Right, which is just prior to him breaking away to become the very first ever Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal winner. But it's almost like either someone went to him and said, hey, we need a good hand to go work with someone, or he was like, hey, I want to go work with Sami Zayn, because somehow, however this feud came out, it was a classic from the start and everyone loved it. Because if you were a fan of Ring of Honor at that time, you knew that this was Claudio Castagnoli against El Generico.
Right.
So it was just a good wrestling classic feud. I like it. I'm a big fan of the 2 out of 3 falls match because it starts off quick with Sami Zayn going right for the haluva kick and getting that 3 count right off the bat. So you thought, the match was going to be over even quicker. Go ahead. Let's talk about number 8.
Number 8 is one that didn't really get enough time due to circumstances that were out of anybody's control, but it's Asuka and Ember Moon. I really enjoyed this feud. Asuka first defended the title against Ember on April 1st. That was TakeOver Orlando. This is when Asuka started to get a little bit more heelish. So Asuka ended up attacking Ember Moon, Nikki Cross, Ruby Riott, and they were the finalists in a battle royal to see who was going to be the number 1 contender for TakeOver Chicago. So she had to end up defending it in a triple threat. Ember was out with an injury, but she retained the event. She retained the title. In June, Asuka defeated Nikki Cross in a last woman standing match. That was the one with the ladder, where she fell off through the announce. She threw her off the ladder into the announce table. Great match. But then after that, she ended up passing Goldberg's winning streak. So that's awesome. And then after that, she retained against Ember Moon again at TakeOver Brooklyn the 3rd. And then after that, Asuka ended up getting injured, broke her right collarbone, had to relinquish the title, ending her reign at 510 days. Broke a few records with that one. So it's the feud that we never got, because you got to figure after all those losses, all of Ember's losses, the win at the end to get the title would have been it. And Ember held it for a short while, and then
she was injured? I didn't know that. I thought she was just going up to the main roster at that time. I thought that she was just done.
She did go to the main roster after that.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
I didn't know that. Okay, that makes much more sense then.
So yeah, like I said,
I'm the same way. I'd like to see a title passed off. It would have been cool to see Ember have that moment. But either way, I've never really been on the Ember Moon train. Anyway,
I like her. I like her a lot. I love the Eclipse.
I like her. I was gonna say I like the finisher. I like her eyes. I think it's cool with the contacts and stuff. But actually, you know what I gotta say? A very well-spoken person, though. Have you ever caught any of her on Backstage, WWE Backstage?
No.
Well-spoken. It's funny. You don't put a microphone in the hand of someone. You don't know if they can talk or not.
Right.
And sometimes you're saying, here's a scripted thing to say. So they have to memorize shit. You're not in your own head. If someone asks you a question, you can answer the question. No problem. Ember's in her own head. She can talk or whatever. She can say whatever she wants to. It's funny because one of the kayfabe commentary interviews, RVD in a shoot interview, he said he felt really disrespected one time because Shawn Michaels came up to him. This is a great YouTube video. You got to look at it. And I have to say, you have to look at this shoot interview, because when he goes to do Shawn Michaels' voice, RVD cocks one of his eyes to the middle of his head so he looks like Shawn Michaels. Oh, it's fucking awesome. It's honestly one of the coolest things. It's
so
awesome.
wrong.
But he said that he felt real disrespected when he came back at the Royal Rumble at one point, and then he came back and inducted someone into the Hall of Fame. Shawn Michaels came up to him the next day at WrestleMania or whatever and was like, RVD, you were really witty. And this is the point when he does that part, he puts the eye to right to his nose, and I was like, oh my God, that's so first of all, the fact that you could just move one eye to the middle of your head and do
That's
that
part of it, right?
and look like him, that was awesome. But he goes, wow, you're witty and very well spoken. He goes, yeah, dude, you guys tell me what to say. I get it. Ha ha. I sound like a pothead. I can fucking talk, dude. And it's same with Ember. Maybe I would like her a little more if she was just herself, and I got to hear her speak or whatever. She really never talked or anything. It was just she came out, did matches. She was brought to Raw by Nia Jax. I remember that. She came
okay.
like the day after WrestleMania. She was one of the people that showed up after WrestleMania 34, I believe. Just never really, I guess I just never cared too much about Ember, or maybe I just liked Asuka too much to really care, but it was a good feud that you thought was going to end the way that you said right there, with Ember finally being crowned the champion. But of course, Asuka, the only saving grace of Asuka's career, I guess, is the last 6 months of her being a tag team champion and her just walking and dancing around the ring and just speaking in Japanese and saying whatever she wants.
Yeah, it works. I mean, yeah.
It's the only thing I like out of really watching most of their shit. Number 7, this is a feud that began probably, let's say, 2009. Yeah, 2009.
Yeah, and
Final battle.
Yeah, I'd like to clarify something here because I did a lot. Typically, Professor has the most knowledge, and he does.
Shit.
So he compiles the lists. I had more of a hands-on in constructing the order of this list. And some of you are out there probably pulling your hair out because you just heard him say number 7 and not number 1. That's fine. Please direct all of your internet hatred towards me. I look forward to it like fan mail.
Well, but I think once we reveal our number 1, you'll understand why.
Okay, the number
we are
2.
talking the actual NXT feuds.
Sure.
But there's a reason I have it at number 7 too. Short-lived, man. But it did start in Ring of Honor with Kevin Steen versus El Generico, and was quickly reborn the night that Kevin Owens debuted, the same night that Sami Zayn became the NXT champion. He comes down to the ringside to congratulate him, and then soon to just turn on him right after.
Yep.
This, the only reason I don't think that it should be a better number ranked in our NXT feuds is because I feel like they had a lengthier feud in the WWE circuit than they did NXT, because Owens went up to the main card pretty quick.
Oh, yeah.
And Zayn tore his own shoulder out by just doing his own entrance. Owens dropped the title to Baylor down the road. I think personally it was good. Could have been better. The reason I think it's at number 7 is weird. When he beat him for the world title, when Kevin Owens won the world title from Sami Zayn, it was weird because it was from ref stoppage. It was just odd.
Right.
They just, it wasn't even like he was in a chokehold or anything. And, like he couldn't move. It was just, after so many moves, they just kind of stopped it. I put that kind of equally next to Hell in a Cell. Huh. So, but they did have, I'm not against their feud. Overall, as lifetime for a 10-plus year feud, love it. It's the best thing going, right? Could be higher then. NXT, short-lived. I'm going to put it at number 7.
All right.
But that's just me. I mean, what are your thoughts on it?
Oh, no, I think I agree with you. So
you just directed all the heat on me. Cool. Understood. So not only I can't fucking breathe,
no.
I have to take your heat.
No. Listen, it was good. It was anticlimactic because not only did he win the title from a ref stoppage, the rematch was a no contest. It was almost the same exact ending. So that was your end because after that, Owens ended up running with the title and lost to Balor in Tokyo. So
it could have been a much better feud. Maybe the plan was for it to be that way. I mean, Owens was told, you're not going up to the main roster. He was told that. You're never going to go up there, kid. This is where you're stopping. And he said, okay. And he was on Raw. First person he confronts, John Cena.
Yep.
He was just too over, and I don't think that anybody expected it. So maybe with all the stoppages and stuff, maybe there's a big planned match. Could have been, a last man standing or something, whatever. I don't know. They could have been leading to something huge, but didn't.
Right.
So,
It had a lot of potential, and it had built-in story too. But the cool thing is, the thing that started off this whole feud, pretty much. I mean, in theory, is Kevin Owens getting his nose broken by
Juice Robinson. CJ Parker. I know. That sound still. If you go to the network, man, you can hear it equally as a. It's just, oh man, it's so bad. I remember hearing that pop, and I go, did he hit his chest? Like, hopefully he hit his like he was, he faked that. And then as soon as you see Owens' face, I go, God damn, that sucks for your debut. But he plays right into it because it's Kevin Owens, man. Talk to me about number 6.
Number 6. Listen, you and I discussed this one. I'd be interested to see how the listeners feel about putting this on the list. But it's Roderick Strong and the Undisputed Era. It was a...
Which technically shouldn't make sense, right?
It's a feud with a swerve at the end, I guess. So Strong ended up in a storyline with the UE. Obviously at the time it was just Cole, Fish, and O'Reilly. And for a couple weeks they were trying to recruit Strong. In the meantime, Roddy was in a little feud with Sanity and the Authors of Pain. Undisputed Era ended up interfering and made it a no contest. Roddy came out and he pulled out an armband like he was going to join, but then he ended up turning on him and beating him down. So, feuds go on between Sanity and the Authors of Pain. Lars Sullivan gets involved. At TakeOver New Orleans, there was a triple threat for the tag team titles. So it was... Who was it? It was, God, I just said it. Sanity, Authors of Pain, and then Roderick Strong and Pete Dunne had won the Dusty Classic, so they were in it. And I remember watching this match, and fantastic match. I think he had a little bit of everything with all the teams involved. But right at the end, Roderick Strong turns on Pete Dunne. No, it was Undisputed Era.
Yeah, you said Authors of Pain. It was Undisputed Era. Yes.
Sorry,
this is the finals of the Dusty Classic. You're correct, but yes, because of how things went that year. It was the finals and the tag titles.
Right. Okay.
All on the line.
Turns on Pete Dunne, joins the Undisputed Era, and been with him since. Nice little transition into that storyline. So,
well, and it was cool because they started with he was a family man. Showing Strong, and he was just a good guy, and they were showing all these video packages of him being a family guy, and then he ends up joining the bad guys after all. It was I didn't see it coming when it happened. Well, as soon as he got into the ring, I go, oh! you knew only 1 second before that. I didn't think it was going to happen. I thought it was awesome. Now I'm waiting for another swerve like that, which I think is cool.
Right?
Speaking of something I've never seen. Someone tap out to a figure 4 leg lock. Or not tap out. Get pinned by a figure 4 leg lock like Cody Rhodes did to
Shawn Spears
last week.
Yeah, it was Shawn Spears.
Yes, that's how he won in the first round.
Yeah, I don't get that. I don't know.
Well, they always do the counts, right?
Yeah, but then, they kick up. I don't know if it was... Yeah, dude, I don't know.
Because I think that would have been cool in front of a crowd. No one would have expected. But wishful thinking at this point. But anyway, for all the years, I'm always like, why do they count? No one's ever been pinned like that. That's stupid. Maybe that was a decision. Someone said, hey, wait, no one's ever been pinned. How about we don't do it? Or Jericho was on commentary and he called it out. He goes, I don't think, in my years, I think he said, my 30-year career to your 57-year career, Tony Schiavone, he goes, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. I thought it was weird, but it was also, I'm like, cool. Thank you for doing something that we want to call out all the time, right? Yeah. It's things we should be calling out. Now someone, I bet you that gets used in WWE within the next 6 months. So anyway, back on to our top topic. Yeah, man, I got a little tangent, whatever. Number 5 is one that happened a little more recently. I'm going to say all within pretty much about probably end of 2018 and running all the way through a good chunk of 2019. We are talking Johnny Gargano and Adam Cole. Baby. Oh, hang on. We're baby. That's kind of how I'm at right now.
Oh, don't do that.
I feel like I can't breathe, man. This may be my last show ever.
I got nothing. I
thought you were just waiting for me to stop bitching. Anyway, so so man, I like this feud because it's just two. Really, I mean, end of the day, this is two indie darlings, if you will, being showcased for the World Championship in some classic battles. Two of them, 2 out of 3 falls matches.
Yeah.
I've never seen a feud have 2 out of 3 falls matches. Usually that's like the ending or something. You know what I mean? Or like it's along the way, but never 2 of them in there. But 2 totally different 2 out of 3 falls matches. And Adam Cole, I'm going to say, overall, obviously, takes the feud. Gargano did get the big win in New York last year, and that is also where Tommaso Ciampa shows up at the very end, and he finally becomes, was that New York? Yes. And he finally becomes world champ. Awesome moment. From right there, I said that is the height of where Gargano goes. He's not going to defend this thing that much.
Yeah, absolutely. And that match was awesome.
Classic.
It was absolutely fantastic. 5.5 stars from Meltzer. And
out of 5. Fucking idiot.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, you can blame Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada for that one.
I do.
But Ciampa came out afterwards, and it looked like he was going to turn on him again. But no, they embraced. It was really cool. It was great, and it was a perfect. And I agree with you. That's his apex. You're like not going anywhere other than that. So it was a great way to get the title on the Cole. It sucks that he's a transitional champion, but that's fine. The moment was worth it. It, at least for the fans, right?
Oh God, the crowd went nuts.
Yeah.
At the end of that match. No, it was awesome. So, but it was a way to build Adam Cole and the Undisputed Era, because then at one point, after all said and done, they had all the gold, baby.
Right.
So, it's a good feud. I was very, very happy with how it was laid out. Great matches. And again, 2 of them being 2 out of 3 falls, I think that's pretty historical. I just like that. It's just overall. Number 4 is a great tag team wrestling classic feud, and that is the Revival, who are the Revolt. We have the Revival and American Alpha. They had a great 3-match feud, if you will, passing the tag titles between each other. And this right here was, I think, the very first time. Yeah, this is the very first time that there was a giant spark in tag team wrestling from anything under an NXT or WWE umbrella.
Absolutely.
In a very long time. And it showcased the Revival, obviously, as a great heel team, and American Alpha as the great underdogs. Problem is, they took American Alpha and put them right up to the main roster not too long after, and then they said, ooh, good idea. You look nothing like Kurt Angle. Let's make you his son. Dude, they would have been better if they shaved Chad Gable's head and made him Kurt Angle's son at that point.
Right.
Anyway, don't even want to go there. But
no.
The wrestling in this, classic.
Yeah, it really
wrestling.
is. It really is. If it were based just on that, this would probably be number 1, I think. It's tough. I mean, I think besides 1 and 2, and we'll get there, this number 4 and number 3 could probably flip-flop. I wouldn't have
I
any
was just going to
argument
say
against
that. I was going to say, in a way, maybe I feel like I should have put the next one this way, but I like how the feud was because of how the character build-up was between 2 singles guys. And so we'll just go right to it, because the Revival's in both of them versus DIY.
Say yeah.
Yeah. I can't wait to see them at NWA.
Yep.
With their Crockett Cup thing, that's
gonna be
that's
dope.
where they're going.
Yeah.
But DIY, and you're talking about two indie guys who fought during the Cruiserweight Classic. You know, they come up together as a tag team for a little bit in NXT, but that's how they were brought in. But Ciampa and Gargano really were from two different places.
Yep.
Ciampa was mainly Ring of Honor all the time, and Gargano was everywhere. You know, I'm about to say that Ciampa wasn't going other places and whatnot, but I'm saying that he was very much Ring of Honor based for the longest time before signing with NXT, which where he wants to die. I love that. I love that.
Absolutely.
He's like, this
And
is
he
where
should.
I want to be.
And I'm okay with that.
But the formation of DIY was very, very, I want to say almost semi-organic because the crowd was really behind them. And then once they got the shirts and they started tagging together.
Well, that's it, because they weren't even DIY before that. And
right.
DIY is a perfect explanation, like you said. It's just two things that's like, oh, okay.
And they lost at the first TakeOver match that everybody thought that they were going to win at the TakeOver Brooklyn. Yeah. Even I was like, what?
Right.
Totally okay with it because, shit, you caught me off guard, and I'm a huge fan of the Revival anyway, but really? They didn't win? Like, that crowd would have been awesome for it. But then you waited. The organic build with the feud and how it kept going and how it built into the 2 out of 3 falls match. And that whole submission, double submission part. I mean, this is all of it. It was just, I feel like the Toronto crowd was actually just a touch more appreciative than the Brooklyn crowd probably would have been anyway. Just because it was just so well built up, and you were like, well, if they don't do it here, they're not doing it at all. You know what I mean? And it was like they have to do it. So what
Match
they
of
did,
the year, man. Match of the year.
It was, yeah. It was a 47-star classic in Meltzer's review.
Oh, bitch.
Number 2 is Finn Balor and Samoa Joe. I love this because we're talking, him saying he is the greatest NXT champion in history.
I think he is.
I'm on board with it. I don't think anybody has beaten that yet. Just because Adam Cole has held it for as long as he has doesn't tell me anything.
Nope.
I mean, he's had some good matches, but all of his best matches were actually with Gargano, which is funny. But, God, Samoa Joe is just such a great, hard-hitting, stiff worker, but also fast-paced as a big guy. And Finn Balor could go with a big guy, little guy, doesn't matter. And he could take some hits, too. And they had some hard-hitting main event classics. One was in a steel cage. I believe one of the... No, it wasn't that. Nakamura and Joe dropped it at an indie show randomly, but not Finn Balor and Joe. Those were all on pay-per-views. I do think Finn Balor really is the greatest NXT champion, and I have to attribute that to Samoa Joe. He helped build him as a very credible champion because Joe didn't come in and just take it from him. Joe had to chase.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
And it was cool. So I know that you're a mega Finn Balor fan. This is probably the feud that probably got you started. Just like I honestly knew of him with his Japan stuff,
right?
Prince Devitt and stuff. But when he came into NXT, I was like, all right, I'm there. But it wasn't until this feud that I really, really got involved and behind him. So very awesome matches between them, and that's why I feel like I had to come in at number 2.
Yeah, it was great. I think it's interesting that the 2 best NXT champions ever are both Bullet Club members. But this is Balor, and Joe is great too. Let's not forget Joe. But and it's great because it started with them being in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic tournament together.
Oh, that's right.
And then Joe turned on him. Fantastic. I mean, it's perfect. And there was the one takeover match where I think within a minute Joe was bleeding and he wouldn't stop bleeding. They had to keep stopping the match to clean him up. I mean, these guys just went at it. And Samoa Joe is the only person to beat Demon Finn Balor.
Interesting. I didn't know that. I didn't
Their
know
last
that
match.
he's the only
Their
one that
last
held
match. It was. I think it was their rematch. Or no, maybe not. Yeah, because Balor lost the
that's
title
when
at a house show, or at a,
He did.
at
I
a
was right.
local
Yeah.
event.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Wow. Interesting. I didn't know that. Only
So all
one
those
person has
things
ever
put
beaten the Demon.
together, all those things put together. That's why it's number 2.
That's true,
You
man.
know.
That's even better. That's why you texted me and said it should be there. Good call. So, man, talk to me about number 1. I mean, is there any doubt in your mind as to why this one should be number 1?
I kind of want to read like my notes, kind of like somebody reading a Christmas Carol. Remember in Scrooge, they got the guys that are sitting reading, narrating.
So everybody.
That's kind of what I want to do here. Listen, if you're listening to this podcast, you almost certainly know what number 1 is. It's Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. How can it not be? That is the greatest NXT feud of all times. We talked about it earlier with this past Wednesday's NXT show where it ended, and that NXT logo went on the screen. So you're like, all right, show's over. Nope, it's not. This was probably the best instance of that ever happening. DIY losing the titles, going to the top of the ramp, logo hits the screen, they're holding each other's arms on it, up, and boom, it happens. The turn. Everything just went batshit crazy after that. I'm not even going to sit here and try to read these notes. They had a last man.
There's so many matches that they had.
There's
and they
the last
had
man
so many
standing
awesome
match.
Yeah.
There's the one where they expose the ring and he hits like a pile driver DDT. There's the submission, the Gargano escape with the crutch over Ciampa's face.
The knee brace, and that was
the brace. Yeah,
that was the WrestleMania weekend unsanctioned match that they had that main evented that takeover.
Right.
And I was behind on it because I was in California. It was a couple years ago. And you texted me and you said, best crowd entrance ever for a heel. No music.
Oh my god!
And it was
I forgot.
The whole "fuck you, Ciampa."
There was no music.
Fuck you, Ciampa.
Because he didn't
the
play
whole
any
thing.
music.
Oh my god! I was actually mad when they gave him music because I was like, it's so cool that way. But then I thought about it. I was like,
It's the most heat I've ever seen on
oh
somebody.
my god, it was the
ever.
best heat ever. It's funny because I'm like, he's so good that even as a heel, everybody loved him, but nobody was cheering him in that arena that night.
Nobody.
It was so I had not heard deafening boos like that since RVD beating John Cena for the world title, or maybe Punk beating John Cena for the world title. That's what it was like. Oh my god, that was everything they were. The only thing that keeps coming to mind, unfortunately, is "fuck you, Ciampa." But I know they had other chants they kept saying. Or
I think that was the big one, but it was so great. It was I remember that. It was.
My jaw dropped. I was like, well, that was interesting. That was a lot.
Yeah, and then don't forget that what also played into this was Gargano's matches with Andrade. He had two matches
absolutely.
against Andrade, and Ciampa got involved in one of those. That was the one after the
Yes.
match. Candice helped him. That's the one that when Candice got involved was Zelina Vega.
Correct.
They went up to the ramp, and here he comes with the crutch.
That's right.
Dude, there's so much.
It's a long history with them.
It kept going. Then there was
Yeah.
a switch because in the middle of it, Gargano started going nuts. He attacked Aleister Black.
Yep.
Then he ended up teaming up with Ciampa. He had the North American, and Ciampa had Goldie.
Then they became partners for a couple of minutes, going up to the main roster
Right.
on Raw,
Yep.
right before WrestleMania, only for them to go right back down. And it's so weird how it was never even talked about ever again. Those guys were ever up there. You know
I
what
know,
I mean?
right?
Like, it just never existed.
It's better that way. But then
I get it, but it's weird.
Ciampa tried to turn on Johnny again, but Johnny caught him, and that's when Johnny turned face again.
And then they did team up with each other against Mustache Mountain in a fucking awesome classic at that Worlds Collide event. But then just soon thereafter, boom, right back at it like nothing ever happened. Like
Yep.
the hatred was still there. And Triple H said it is going to end. And it's funny that we did this feud this time.
I know,
It's number
right?
one. Yeah,
It's
and
over.
it ended just last week.
And, I think it's
2 weeks
okay.
ago, yeah.
Ciampa's injury playing into it obviously prolonged it. We never got full closure. And I think especially now at the end, it's a weird one, right? Because who do you side with? Ciampa's the one that started all of this, and now he's the one that's like, listen, I'm sorry, I'm done with this. And Gargano's like he's the guy that got fucked over, but now he's being a super douchebag about it. I'm breaking
He's
it
like,
down
wait,
in
no, you
teenager
brought
terms,
this
yeah.
out of me. Now let me do this. Fuck
But
you.
yeah,
You're
so-
100% right.
But it's okay because everybody can go their different way now, and now Ciampa being in with Killer Cross, I think that's great. I'm ready.
Anything less of Candice LeRae is better for me. You know what? I went back and I rewatched that. And you're right. I can't really get on board with her too much. I don't mind her, I guess, in the wrestling division, but
Yeah.
I don't like her and Gargano in a on screen.
It was an
character
overly
thing.
it was an overly convoluted swerve.
Yeah.
Like, so you had your husband put on a cup so you could fake kick him in the dick, and then your plan was to leave the ring, then come back and kick the person in the dick that you really wanted to hurt.
Yeah, my wife and I do that trick all the time in the bar. We find a guy and we're like, we're gonna fuck with that guy right there. I'm gonna put the cup in.
That part
You're
was
gonna
a
walk up to him and be like, "This is my husband. Watch me kick him in the dick."
Yeah. I just whatever.
It was weird. It was a weird part of the match. I just wish she wasn't a part of it at all.
Yeah, and the ending, I guess you could make the argument that the ending fell a little flat only because it was overly produced.
Yeah.
Right? It was overly produced. It was a good match, but it is what it is.
Yeah,
Things move
but you know
on,
what?
and
It
was
doesn't
still one of the-
discount that. Yeah, it doesn't discount it's the number one feud though.
Exactly.
In NXT history, not one feud has had the. I mean, come on! If the guy goes to the ring and people are chanting "fuck you," Jesus, I feel like that's
when you're
the
invested,
number one reason.
You're invested in this team, right? Right? You love this team. These two guys, they shouldn't go together, but they do. They're the champions. They lose the titles. Everybody's cheering you, and the one guy just snaps, and everybody's reaction is their heart instantly drops. You can't fake that shit, right?
Yeah.
And they played every step of the way brilliantly. So, yeah, that's why it's number one.
That was one of those moments when he turned on him. I'm not crying. You're crying.
Yeah, right. This can't be happening. This isn't real. It's like watching Bambi or The Lion King for the first time over again.
Yo, I just saw a great meme and I can't pass it up. It was just the whole thing of like the opening part of The Lion King, and it said, "Imagine you get woken up really early because your boss wants to show you his new baby. What a dick." So anyway, what's to come here on the Top of Wrestling podcast? We decided, we're doing this in seasons because unlike WWE, we're smart. We know we need to take a break and know what we need to do to recharge the batteries or maybe make some better plans, whatever the deal is. But Top of Wrestling is only going to be taking a short, brief vacation when the time does come up. We are, today, of course, is episode 19. Our final episode will be episode 25 for season 1. Let me give you a little bit of an idea of what you're going to be expecting in the next couple of weeks. We are going to be going over the top 25 matches of WCW, and then ECW, then TNA, and Ring of Honor. In 5 weeks, we are going to be doing the top 10 AEW matches so far. Give them a little bit of credit. They've been in business, long enough to at least get a good 10 list, I would assume. Most of them, I assume, are not going to have Joey Janela, so that's good. And 6 weeks from today will be our season 1 season finale of the Top of Wrestling podcast. O.D.M., please introduce what the topic will be for our season finale.
So, yeah, Professor and I came up with an idea to kind of have a little promo time, cut a little promo against each other. We're not going to get too much in depth into what the topics are going to be, but Should be a little bit of fun. It's going to be our Top of Wrestling School Series Part 1, cutting a promo.
We will give you a little idea. We don't know what, again, topics will be just yet. But we decided there's going to be 3 rounds. And, it's just we're going to call it, you'll be Promo Wars 1 champion. That's the best way we could look at it. That's bragging rights. But we're going to go 3 rounds and see who is the better man. We'll be honest. We're not going to, if I suck, I'll let you know I sucked. I'm not going to say, hey, I'm still better than you. I won't be in promo time. I'll, gladly let you take the win, and I'll cry while we're on break for the season. But so that's what you guys can expect for the next 6 weeks here at the Top of Wrestling podcast. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Steve Urkel for the day. For the way I have sounded, for real, I am Professor Rex Youngblood. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. And this week, O.D.M. is leaving us all with just 20 words.
$500 million in cash reserve, $18 million paid to Florida, mass layoffs. Could this be the end for Vince McMahon?
Oh, that's what you meant earlier. This difference helps me cross the line every time I'm confronted. I'm